Welcome to the Slade Ham Experiment. You're on board my midnight spaceship through the galactic seas of nonsense. That's what I'm here for. Your tour guide, your Sherpa up this insane mountain we call existence. That's my role for the next half hour. Rest in peace, Judy Tenuta. Part one of the world falling apart this week. We lost a great comedian. I don't know that regular people know Judy Tenuta, but she was the accordion-playing, kind of body tawdry 80s era comedian into the 90s. I grew up watching her on A&E's Evening at the Improv, like many, many, many other comedians. And we lost her. She's dead now. Emo Phillips posted probably my favorite tribute, the one that resounded with me. Resounded? Resonated. I felt this shit. Emo said, my favorite Judy Tenuta story. After a show, the comic who opened for her is driving her to their next gig. As they're passing cornfields at 2 a.m., he asks, "So what did you think of my act?" And she replies, "Ask me again when we get a bit closer to town." Oh, Judy, that's so her voice. I, like many comedians, that's why we recognize this. We've had a supporting act that we booked because we had to go land it. You know what I mean? We didn't want to drive the car. You got to fly to the gig already. I didn't want to pay for a rental. So I call up a comedian and I go, "Hey, why don't you meet me in Shamblesville, North Carolina? We're going to drive on down to nowhere town, do a couple of gigs. And then we'll cut through what the hell happened to my life, Georgia." You drive. At some point while he's driving, he's going to lean over, or she, because I believe in booking anybody that's qualified to open for me. They might lean over it in the middle of a long drive, some road in Gobbledygook, Kansas. "What'd you think of my act?" And I just won't answer. I have a blanket policy. I don't critique acts. Whatever you're asking, I can't help you. "How am I supposed to get better?" Get on stage. That's how you get better. Everything I learned up there. You're going to have to figure this one out on your own, kid. I don't. Because what am I going to do? I'm going to shatter your dreams? Most young guys, it's not my job to be the sieve through which stand-up comics filter. Yeah, I understand that if they can't take critique from a comic who likes them in a car, they're never going to make it in stand-up comedy. I understand that, but why's it got to be my job? Why do I have to be that person? Sure, 9 out of 10 of them can't make it, and that 10th one is going to be fine, but that 10th one was going to be fine anyway. I don't want to be the dream killer for these other 9, and then I got to walk back from the cornfield? Nah, rest in peace, Judy. It's coffee, but it's in tribute. Putin's about to start another war. What is he, a Bond villain? I don't watch the news. I don't get on social media, yet somehow you can't avoid a war, not of this magnitude. What are we doing? The UN, is the UN powerless? I'm not completely convinced they're trying. All they've managed to do is put together very harshly worded critique. That's all they got. "We rebuke you." And then Putin's like, "But I veto your rebuke. So what now?" And that's it. We rebuke you again. It's the weirdest thing going on. Putin's conscripting farmers. He doesn't even have an army. How is this even happening? He's literally putting together the bad news bears. He's grabbing Siberian farmers. "Get over here. Bring pitchfork, whatever you have." Like they're about to go fight the Empire in The Mandalorian. Teach the farmers. It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my entire life. These bad news bears. It is Russian bear, though. It's a better bear than regular bad news bear. Let them come together. We will teach them how to fight terrible Western civilization. Iran's passing out drones and beating women for wearing clothes. What is going on, world? I'm with you, Iran. What this shit you're up to? More of it. I'm down anytime somebody overthrows some antiquated religious leadership. How are women not? Are you too Saudi? They're listening. I mean, in general, how any of these ideologies survive. I hope you win. Kim Jong-un is shooting bottle rockets over Japan. Who are these madmen and how are they in charge of places? Ukraine's president is a stand-up comedian. What is happening? Kim Jong-un has just lost his mind. It reminds me of with his little rockets. Because he already looks this little stubby tubby. You know what I mean? He looks like he was. Kim Jong-un is so last picked in dodgeball as a person. That's exactly what he is. And he looks like his clothes don't quite fit a little bit. He always looks mad but happy, like jolly mad. Does that make with that pudgy little face? He looks like the neighbor's kid. Oh, July 4th. That's what I think is in my head. You ever have one of those neighbors who's he's got a kid. The kid's a little slow. The dad's a little refusing to see it. He's still treating the kid like a regular kid. Punishes him the same, rewards him the same, does all the things to try to get the kid to be a little more regular kid. But sometimes you can't help it. The kid's wearing shorts and a sports coat. That's what he picked. All right. He's like 8. The kid that eats, you give him a corn on the cob and he eats the corn on the cob, but then he keeps eating, like he eats the cob, just doesn't stop, like an apple. You can just tell. It's just something a little bit off. Even deer, ducks know when to stop eating corn. You have more lines of code running around up there than ducks. All right. So that kid on July 4th, big street party. You know the party? Everybody's kind of lighting fireworks. The dad is teaching the kid a lesson. I don't know, he's like 8 years old, but this is Texas. You want some beer, son? Come on over. He gives him a sip of beer. The kid kind of likes it in a weird way. Dad keeps setting the thing on the counter. He runs out to light more fireworks. The kid keeps picking it up and sipping it and setting it back down. Soon he's a drunk, super strong, weird, crazy 8-year-old out there just running through the streets shooting Roman candles. Maybe you never had that 4th of July. I don't know. That's what Kim Jong-un reminds me of. The richest man in the world, Elon Musk, is trying to buy Twitter, or was trying to buy Twitter. I don't even understand that. He wanted it, and they said no. And he said he didn't want it, and now they're like, you got to take it. It's $44 billion. It's an enormous sum of money offered by the world's richest man who smoked a joint on the world's #1 news program that's hosted by another stand-up comedian. We're coming for you, Earth. I don't like the way people treat Elon Musk. People that rich ruining our lives. That dude lives a totally different life than you or I. And you're trying to project your standards onto a human being worth $1 trillion. Say that number out. Do you know how much money that is? You don't need all that money. You don't live a life like him. You got to wake up in the morning. What's a day like for Elon Musk compared to, say, a day for one of us? You wake up in the morning, you meditate for a little bit, certainly. You spend a couple of hours thinking about how you're going to stop a global war. Maybe you'll reposition your fleet of satellites you invented. That's one way. Then around lunch, you got to go invent a car. Lunchtime stuff. You do it back of a napkin. You're working. You got to hurry. Then maybe you run to the gym for 20 minutes. Then some rocket scientist stuff. You got to do rocket scientist stuff. I mean, you can't get to Mars, which is one of those things he's trying to do. You know, one of them. And then on the side, like his passion project, you do anything on the side? Oh, you know, hobbies. I think I'm going to buy and fix one of the largest communication platforms in the world. Sorry, I ran out of time today. Couldn't finish my Hyperloop project or the neuroscience thing that would link your brain directly to all of the information that humanity has ever encountered ever. Sorry for thinking I needed money to do all that. My bad. People acted like he's doing terrorist activity. I mean, you don't need all that money. You know what I mean? If you just gave some of it to me, then you could what? Sarah? What is your day? Because you gotta wake up in the morning. You gotta drop the kids off by 7:30. Somewhere in there, you gotta hit the HEB and pick up some poster board for the science fair project they're gonna have to do that night. Then woe is you. You probably got to pick them up somewhere around 3:30. Figure out how you're going to sneaky drink that half box of wine in the garage before they go to bed. It's insane to me that those would even be the same conversation. I'm just saying, man, if they would spread that wealth around. Okay, buddy. Maybe your job is to drive a truck across the country. That's your job. And it's a difficult job, but I acknowledge that. I have friends who do it. They got to not just drive the truck across the country. You got to also not fall asleep, also throwing rocks at my windshield for no reason, and also passing the truck next to you at exactly 1 mile an hour faster than that truck, regardless of what is occurring behind you. So the point, your days aren't the same as old Elon over there who's doing a couple of other things. One of those things is also making a truck that's going to put you out of business. I understand that sounds unfair, but you could, I don't know, evolve. Everything happens like this. Like I said, I have friends who drive trucks. Elon's trucks are going to merge with their lives at some point, and they're going to find themselves out of a job. Them and 100,000 other truckers. And what happens when that happens? They're all going to be, I can't wait till they end up working at grocery stores and they end up being checkers, and every checkout line moves exactly the same slow speed. Oh, get in this other line. No. You're just honking at your grocer. Anyway. You have to evolve. What happens when you solve that problem of the downstream effects of that going to be staggering. Just for me as a person who drives a lot. Dear Jesus. You can't hang on to these old, that's why the coal miners, that Virginia stuff. This is our birthright. We get to be coal miners for the rest of forever. Don't you take away our coal mining jobs. Damn you. That's not, you don't have a right to be a coal miner for the rest of forever. Sometimes we find better ways of doing things, and you just got to find a different thing to do. You don't have to walk around looking like a chimney sweep for the rest of your life, covered in soot. How long does this go on? Another 10 years, I could argue with you. You could have that. But to what end? We're going to be coal miners forever. Our families have the right to mine coal. That's a curse you're putting on your family. Making them sustain this dreary, lung-killing dream of yours. The year is 2250. I just see your ancestors stand. My great-great-great-great-great-grandpappy fought for my right to mine coal in the year 2250. I'm going to be a miner just like him. Just soot in every nook and cranny. You got to let go of some things. Why not pivot? If you're a trucker, you already know an immense amount of things about how transport works, how things get from point A to point B, what the pinch points are, how the logistics work, the best way to do it, the most opportune routes, the things that don't show up on maps or in studies. You'd be invaluable in that industry, but you gotta, billionaires are putting us out of business. No. They're helping us all be better. Somebody tweeted, 44 billion. Why doesn't he just give it away? There's 8 billion people on the planet. That's $6 billion for every person. That's the tweet. How much is wrong with that sentence? I don't have to get into the math. No matter how you check it, is wrong, is incorrect. I think it's like $5 a person, right? Something like that. That's life-changing money right there, is it? Y'all lucky I'm not a billionaire. This trillionaire. Give me $1 trillion. What I would do with 44 billion alone, if I was going to buy Twitter, I'd buy Twitter and just turn it off. Done. That street full of open manhole covers. Like, I would get cut off in traffic and go home and buy all the avocados. That's how I'm going to get you. I don't know who you are, a guy who cut me off in the car. I didn't get your license plate. I was asleep because I invented self-driving cars. So, which makes it hard for you to cut me off. Anyway, my analogy's breaking down here. But the point is, I feel like I could get anybody with avocados. If you just knew tomorrow that you could never get another avocado, Mexican restaurants, Gen Z, breakfast, most of brunch. Ugh, the havoc you could wreak. The whole avocado industry is like $14 billion. I could be so spiteful. I would buy, you know what I would do? I would just buy pumpkin spice and turn it off too. What you gonna do? How much does it cost? $500 million for all the pumpkin spice that's sold in all the stores ever? By the last season, I'll wait till it gets filmed. But before it comes out, I'll just buy the last season of The Handmaid's Tale. Like that Wu-Tang album. Just keep it to myself. Won't even tell you what happened. I'll watch the whole thing. And I won't even watch the first however many seasons before the last season. I'd be too spiteful with the... You know what you should do, Elon? You want to do something with the war effort. You got satellites up there, right? You got a fleet of them. What you need to put up there is a large magnifying glass. And then it could just be held on to like 4 corners by the little, there's corners of a circle, but you know what I mean, 4 points by the little satellites. I don't know why I picture them shaking. And then you just aim the magnifying glass at Putin and you'll just burn him like an ant. This would be difficult if he ever wore a shirt. His shirt would start to smoke before he got burned, but you can go right to the skin because I like to ride my moose. He's just right out there in the Russian fjord. On the back of his moose, you just aim the lens, bzz, burn a hole right through him. I am dying. Now you got a threat. If anybody else gets out of line, you just cock it over to North Korea. You ready? You only have to kill him. Just make a point. Just aim it through the window at like their fish bowl. Just like a message. Just John Wick their fish. Like, we're coming for you if you don't straighten your act up, Putin. Oh my God, my fish. I feel like he would have a pet fish. If I didn't like you, I would just buy all the property around your house and turn it into a haunted house. Every day you got to drive home. I would put stoplights at every intersection. And people would just jump scare you at every... Rah! Make your life miserable. Or worse, not even Halloween stuff. I would make it Christmas all year long. You just got to drive. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas 24/7 every time you drive home, even in May. Play the same song on loop, same little animatronic elves setting up the tree with those little creepy elves. Nobody could tolerate Christmas all year long. Your kids always think there's going to be presents. You're going broke buying them shit. Some mall Santa on every corner. Ho, ho, ho. Tell me what you want, kids. The kids are just yelling gifts out every day. You got to put them in the trunk after about June because you just can't tolerate it. Don't give me $1 trillion. How much would it cost me to buy a neighborhood? I don't care where you move. I'm going right after you. Give me the whole block. I'm going to wait till you unpack, too, so you think you're safe. As soon as you unpack that last box, have a holly jolly... I'm coming for you. So sick of people saying billionaires are ruining their lives. Billionaires may be not great people for the most part. I don't know a lot of billionaires. I'm not going to pass judgment, but they're not ruining your life. They're certainly not ruining my life. I have ruined every piece of my life that has been ruined. You got to own that shit. Elon didn't drop out of college to tell jokes. I'd love to blame him. You can't do that. Elon didn't get that ticket that he forgot to pay for that turned into a warrant, and then the cop happened to show up at your apartment complex because it was a bad apartment complex, and you were supposed to go see the Astros game with your buddy Big Ed, but the cops were like, you got to come to jail with us, and you missed the game, and you had to sit in jail for like 5 hours because Ed wasn't going to miss the game. He didn't do anything stupid. He had the ticket. So afterwards, yeah, I'll come get you out, bro, but come on. You know these are good seats. So Elon didn't do any of that. Elon didn't make me go drinking the night before my godson's christening. They're asking you all this shit. Do you promise? Yeah, whatever. Somebody hold my head up. These billionaires didn't do any of this stuff. You did. I did. We did. Them having money just makes it easy for us to yell at them because we know we'll never be close enough to them to get slapped the way we probably should be for blaming them for all the shit they didn't really do. So cheers to owning your own shit. And to Judy Tenuta. I came here to talk about a thing today, and I'm running out of time. But I'm perplexed by my neighbor's situation. My neighbor has a dog. I guess I should preface this by saying my neighbors have a dog. I thought it was a neighbor. There's an old dude who lives across the street, kind of grizzled, white beard, shaved head a little bit, speaks Spanish. I can't quite place him. But his truck is covered in veteran stickers, so I know he fought in a war. My guess is Vietnam. It's 1,000. And I was confused for the longest time because he would come outside. I couldn't understand why he was dressing different throughout the day. Like he seemed very indecisive. This shirt at one point of the day, then this shirt another part of the day, but then back to this shirt, and then back to this. It was very confusing. It took me about 2 years to learn that he was a twin. And then I was seeing two dudes come out and call for this dog, Max, which is the point of this story. Max is an asshole. Max, a big, fat, dachshundy, mean, dumb, brown and black, dumb asshole. I should have better vocabulary than that. Max would come outside and come across the street, go to the bathroom in my yard. And at the time, I had this one-eyed cat that wasn't really my cat, but it kind of kicked it outside. We were boys or girls. I don't know what she really was. I think it was a she. I never was like checking, but it acted girlish. She and I had a relationship. She would hang out on my porch. I would sometimes feed her. She would kick it out there. And Max would always terrorize her. She'd come sprinting back in. And then the old dude would come out and go, Max! And I'd throw something at the fence and scare the dog, and it would run off daily. And then one day I came home, and my cat never came back again, but Max had a limp, like a big limp. And I was like, man, my cat is dead, but that dog got it on the way out. So every time I'd see Max limp, I'd giggle a little bit. Max would come over to shit in the yard, and I'd throw something at him, and he'd have to run across the street with that limp, and I could hear him yelp a little bit. It just made me giggle. And then one day, Max didn't come around much. And a few days later, Max started coming back around. And I know this because I started to hear the neighbors, the two dudes, the guy, I don't know which one, whatever, the twin, the Vietnam vet, come out and go, Max. And then I look outside because I was prepared to have to go throw stuff at the fence to make Max run again. And Max is the same color, the same size, name the same, but doesn't have a limp and is a different breed of dog. I think. Maybe it's the same dog and it just lost a bunch of weight and got its leg fixed. You know, some people just get really, really thinner and you can't tell they're the same person. You're like, that was you in that fat suit the whole time? Maybe that's what happened with Max. But he's spry now. He seems younger. He seems like his face is the face of a different dog. But he's got the same damn name. I'm so goddamn confused. Because what else would they have done, right? Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming they're just old and they just got another dog and they just named it the same because that would be easier. But after the twins fuckery that they put me through for 2 years, I don't know what's going on at the veterans cloning facility across the street. So that's my current conundrum. The world is falling apart. I can't stop focusing on my neighbor's situation. I'm getting out of here very soon. Next week, in fact, October 18th through the 30th, I will be in the fine province of Ontario. Be in the cities of Toronto and then Ottawa, Canada. So if you guys would like to come out and see me, I'm working through this brand new hour, and it's some fun stuff. So if you're an old fan or friend, or a new fan or friend, or if you just live in Canada in general, if you're thinking about visiting Canada, there's a lot of different reasons you could be my guest at the show. AbsoluteComedy.ca for tickets. You can also go to SladeHam.com. I believe those dates and links are available there. There are a great many things I want to get to over the couple of weeks coming up. I will probably still do these shows from Canada because I know me. I'll bring equipment and I'll sit there and make these things happen because I got a lot of shit to get off my chest. But if I don't, I also have a fantastic interview with Texas country artist Jeff Canada that's in the can. So that'll be coming out either in addition to the regular Slade Ham experiments or as an episode like I did with Paul Odo. There are a number of things around the corner. I'm excited about them. I'm excited about you having been here. And another cheers. Raise your glass, whatever it may be, coffee, whiskey, water, wine, to the world falling apart. I love you fuckers.